Russia is making more moves here that no doubt are affecting the US dollar. Some people are oblivious to this, and I get it. There's so many headlines, so many things happening daily. It's easy to overlook a story or something going on, but this is something that has been ongoing for years now. We've talked about it several times, and it's just hitting a peak. Well, this may be nowhere near the peak thus far in all reality, but right now, just where it's at the height of where it's at, it's kind of jaw-dropping, because what it's showing is that Russia is making massive surges throughout just the past 3 years. From dumping 2%, it's now jumped to 15% in terms of dumping the US Treasury bonds. This is important because Russia sold $47.4 billion out of $96.1 billion that it held in Treasury bonds. So it reduced its portfolio, and others have done so too. Japan has sold off $12 billion. China liquidated roughly $7 billion. Ireland ditched over $17 billion. Is your mainstream evening news talking about this at all? All you ever want to hear about is these tariffs or stuff that they're launching on other countries. Well, the tariffs and everything that was imposed, the sanctions imposed on Russia, is what here on the world stage has caused them to make these moves. So now, this warning sign for Washington and the US dollar is they're looking for a surge in federal borrowing needs. It needs to finance huge spending along with tax cuts that were passed by Congress in December. So it plans to auction off around $1.4 trillion in treasuries this year. And this is with a glut of sellers and a shortage of buyers in the bond market. With all this going on, they're trying to add $600 billion into this area while you have some of the biggest countries out there dumping. This is happening every day. It's growing. These countries are moving in this direction. Give it another 2 years, and this 15% of Russia dumping could be as high as 25% or more. And this is where it's going. There's no sign in sight that this thing is going to be turning around anytime soon. So people, you need to realize that it looks like the downfall of the dollar is in motion. You have to ask yourself, what do they have planned in the offing? The direction and where this is going, if this stays the course of where it's at for the next 10 years, the dollar will be smoked. Simply because they will degrade it so much to where no one's buying the treasuries. They're completely dumping them. And what happens is they stop using this, which Russia has already started doing, as China has already started doing. And as these countries are trading now more and more in other currencies, all that has to do is increase as well. And you're going to get to a point to where they hit that 51% threshold, and they're pretty much going to say, guess what? We don't even need the dollar whatsoever anymore at all. And the reason for this day coming is going to be because of the people in your country that have sold us out, that have known this is coming, all by design. And this is where it's going for your US dollar that's not backed by gold. So people can keep making excuses. This is where it's going. It's been Dabu 7, Eyes Open.